They're off in the dirt mile, and there goes Nick's goal, straight to the front.
Welcome to the Racing Dudes 2021 preview of the Breeders' Cup Dirt Mile. I'm your host, Curtis Kalleward, a.k.a. Magic, and joining me now is the co-host of the Magic Mike Show podcast, Mr. Mike Somich. And Mike, when you see a strong favorite in this field, like Life is Good, it's 4-5, you're very confident in his ability. Do you take a big gulp, and do you eat the chalk in this race, or should we be taking giant swings against him?
Yeah, I mean, look, I'm going to take a couple swings against chalk at certain points. This is not one of them. Look, Life is Good is undefeated at 2 turns. Life is Good has been exceptional since coming back. Only lost to Jackie's Warrior sprinting, which may not be what Life is Good wants to do. We don't even know how good Life is Good is yet. I mean, that's the scariest part about this horse. We have only seen the tip of the iceberg from a talent perspective. Life is Good could be in the Classic and would be one of your top 3 or 4 selections there if Life is Good decided to go that route. We're sticking with the mile today. I think that's probably the diligent choice. I mean, it makes much more sense from a placing perspective. We haven't seen Life is Good try a mile and a quarter yet. And let's just be honest. I mean, he might be able to run backward and beat this field. There's just not very much in the dirt mile this year. It's one of those races which you've seen horses defect from because they're scared of running against Life is Good. There's a ton of early pace in here, but Life is Good just seems to be the fastest. And there isn't anyone on paper that can necessarily challenge him, which makes it tough to play against Life is Good in this spot.
Well, let's play devil's advocate. Let's say that I'm a fan who hates playing chalk. I want to play a long shot horse. Is there someone in this field that possibly catches your eye? And it maybe even not to win, Mike, but you think is a possible must-use in the exotics underneath?
This is kind of that classic known versus unknown question, right? I mean, we've got all of these U.S. horses that we know how good they are. You've got a good idea about how good Snapper Sinclair is. You kind of know how good 8 Rings is. You feel confident in your opinion on Ginobili and on Silver State. If you're looking for prices, if you're looking to mix it up, because let's be honest, I don't really love any of those horses. I think they're all kind of mediocre. Why don't we take a shot with the 2 Japanese horses that are coming in here? You're getting 12-1 and 30-1 on them. I prefer Jasper Prince a little bit more, who's 30-1. That's a great way to mix things up. These Japanese horses, traditionally, when they come over for the Breeders' Cup, have been just ignored in the betting windows. And we've consistently seen the Japanese thoroughbred scene get better and better and better, to the point where I think multiple of us are going to pick a Japanese horse on top or in second in one of the races this year. I've talked about it on our podcast. I expect a Japanese horse to win a Breeders' Cup race this year or next year. I think at 30-1 and 12-1, these are great horses to use underneath because why not? I mean, we don't know how good they are comparatively yet, but we do know how bad some of these American horses are. And if you're able to get one or both of them into the Tri or the Super, you're going to look at a balloon price in these single race bets, even with Life is Good on top.
So Life is Good sounds like he's your top pick in this race. Am I correct? And is there any way that you see him losing this one?
Life is Good is the top pick. The only way he loses is if somehow Ginobili decides he has no interest in winning either and goes 44 for the opening half mile. And Life is Good is right there. And Life is Good has never really faced that. And then you see him go in 2 turns and he just gets tired down the lane and someone picks up the pieces. The likelihood of that happening is wildly low. For my money, I'm probably going to end up something where it's Life is Good. I'm going to put Silver State in that second spot. And then I'm going to price on underneath and see if I can get something big. Hopefully it turns out well. Hopefully we can get string that race together. We mentioned this when we were doing the preview for the Filly and Mare Sprint. You've got Gamine and then you've got this wide open turf race in between. Pick 3s are not a bad option. If you like Gamine, if you like Life is Good, just play a cold pick 3 and see if you can nail the winner in that turf sprint and create some value between the 3 races.
You also have Jackie's Warrior in the dirt sprint race, a possible single as well, so building off of what Mike is talking about. And if you want to know all of our thoughts on the Breeders' Cup Sprint and the other 14 Breeders' Cup World Championship races, head over to racingdudes.com. Before you leave, make sure you hit the like button, hit subscribe, and ring the notification bell. You're never going to want to miss a show that we put out for you.